What does the number 13 really mean in the biker world? Is it a badge of loyalty, a symbol of rebellion, or a warning to outsiders? From the dusty streets of Southern California to the concrete walls of maximum security prisons, this single digit carries a weight that can spark respect or ignite violence. Misuse it, and you might not walk away. Welcome to Complete Crime, your unfiltered ride into the heart of Outlaw Motorcycle Club, MC culture, and true crime. I'm the Ghost, and today, we're peeling back the layers of one of the most powerful, misunderstood symbols in the biker world, the number 13. From the Mongols MC to the Mexican Mafia, from racing legends to courtroom battles, we're diving deep into what 13 means, why it matters, and why it's not just a number. It's a way of life. So, grab a drink, drop a comment if you've ever repped a patch or felt the rumble of a Harley, and hit that like button. Let's roll into the truth behind 13. Chapter 1. The Code of Letters and Numbers. In the Outlaw Motorcycle Club world, nothing is random. Every patch, every tattoo, every symbol tells a story. It's a coded language, one that outsiders rarely understand, and insiders guard with their lives. Letters become numbers, numbers become symbols, and symbols become everything. Identity, loyalty, even a warning to rivals. So, what's the deal with 13? It starts with something simple. M is the 13th letter of the alphabet. But in the MC world, M isn't just a letter, it's a marker of power. For some, it stands for the Mongols Motorcycle Club, a fierce brotherhood born in the streets of Southern California. For others, it's tied to La Aim, the Mexican Mafia, a prison gang that rules with an iron fist. And in some circles, 13 carries even older, deeper meanings tied to racing and rebellion. This number isn't a decoration, it's a declaration. Whether it's stitched on a cuda, inked on skin, or scrawled on a prison wall, 13 demands respect and carries consequences. Let's break it down, starting with one of the most feared MCs in history. Chapter 2. Mongols MC, the Birth of a Brotherhood. Picture: Southern California, 1969. The Vietnam War is raging, and a group of Latino veterans return to Montebello, a working-class suburb east of Los Angeles. These men, hardened by combat, are searching for something to replace the brotherhood they found on the battlefield. They're riders, rebels, and outcasts, looking for a place to belong. According to legend, some tried to join the Hells Angels, the dominant MC of the era, but were turned away because of their Mexican heritage. George Christie, a former Hells Angels president, disputes this, saying the Angels had Mexican members as early as the 1960s. But whether it was rejection or a desire for independence, the result was the same. These men forged their own path. They called themselves the Mongols Motorcycle Club, named after Genghis Khan's unstoppable empire. The name wasn't just bravado, it was a promise. Like Khan's warriors, the Mongols would ride deep, fight hard, and carve out their own empire. Their patch, a fierce Mongol warrior on a motorcycle, became a symbol of defiance. By the 1970s, they were a force in SoCal, with a reputation for loyalty, ruthlessness, and a willingness to challenge anyone, especially the Hells Angels. The number 13 became a badge for the Mongols, tied to the M in their name. It was a way to mark their identity, to say, we're here and we're not backing down. But as the Mongols grew, so did their enemies, rival clubs, law enforcement, and a system that saw them as a threat. Chapter 3. Conflict, Control, and the Rise of the Mongols. The Mongols didn't just build a club, they built a movement. By the 1980s and 90s, they had chapters across California, Nevada, and beyond, with hundreds of members and a growing rap sheet. Their beef with the Hells Angels became legendary, sparking brawls, shootings, and even bombings. The 2002 Laughlin River Run riot, where Mongols and Angels clashed in a Nevada casino, left 3 dead and dozens injured. It was a stark reminder, in the MC world, territory and respect are worth fighting for. The feds took notice. The Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, ATF, targeted the Mongols with massive stings like Operation Black Rain in 2008, which we'll dive into later. RICO, Racketeer-Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, indictments piled up, accusing the Mongols of drug trafficking, extortion, and murder. To the feds, the Mongols were a criminal enterprise. To their members, they were a brotherhood, bound by the patch and the number 13. For the Mongols, 13 wasn't just a letter or a number. It was a symbol of their fight for identity in a world that tried to shut them out. But the story of 13 doesn't end on the streets. It goes deeper into the darkest corners of America's prisons. Chapter 4. The Prison Meaning, LA Aime, and the number 13. When Mongols or other SoCal bikers land behind bars, they enter a different world, one where the number 13 takes on a heavier, more dangerous meaning. Inside prison, 13 is the calling card of La Aime, the Mexican Mafia, one of the most powerful and feared prison gangs in U.S. history. La Aime, which translates to the M in Spanish, was born in 1957 at the Duell Vocational Institution, DVI, in Tracy, California. Founded by Luis Güero Boof Flores, a street kid from East LA, La Aime's mission was to unite Mexican-American inmates against the racial politics of the prison system. At the time, prisons were battlegrounds, black, white, and Latino. Inmates fought for control, and Mexican-Americans were often outnumbered. Flores and his crew changed that. They used violence, discipline, and strategy to dominate the yard, extorting weaker inmates, controlling drug flows, and enforcing loyalty. By the 1970s, La Aime's influence stretched beyond prison walls. They taxed street gangs, ran drug networks, and ordered hits from inside. The number 13 became their mark, tied to the M of Mexican Mafia. In prison, a 13 tattoo or patch isn't just ink. It's a pledge of allegiance, a warning to rivals, and a target for guards. For Mongols doing time, the overlap was natural. Many came from the same East Los Angeles neighborhoods as La Aime members. In lockup, they weren't just bikers, they were soldiers in a larger war, aligning with La Aime against rivals like the Aryan Brotherhood or Nuestra Familia. The number 13 became a bridge between the street and the cell block, a symbol of shared struggle. Chapter 5. Sureños, Symbols, and Southern Streets. Outside prison, La Aime's grip extended to Southern California's street gangs, particularly the Sureños. These gangs, from Compton to San Diego, pledged loyalty to La Aime, often marking themselves with the number 13 in tattoos, graffiti, or clothing. The Sureños' blue bandanas and 13 tags are a public declaration. We ride for the South, for La Aime, for the cause. Contrast this with Northern California, where gangs like Nuestra Familia claim the number 14, for the letter N. The 13 versus 14 divide is a blood feud, rooted in decades of prison never mentioned prison and street wars. Wearing a 13 tattoo in Northern California without permission, that's a death wish. In the South, it's a badge of honor. For bikers, especially Mongols, the number 13 carries dual meaning on the street. It's their club's identity and a nod to the broader Mexican-American street culture tied to La Aime. But wearing 13 without earning it, without the scars, the time, the loyalty, can lead to brutal consequences. In the outlaw world, respect is everything. Chapter 6. Support clubs and the chain of loyalty. Back in the MC world, the number 13 plays another role: support clubs. These are smaller, often newer MCs that operate under the wing of a dominant 1% club, like the Hells Angels, Bandidos, or Mongols. Support clubs are the foot soldiers, prospects in a sense, proving their worth through loyalty and muscle. Some support clubs wear a diamond-shaped 13 patch, not for Mongols or La Aime, but to signify allegiance to their mother club. It's a mark of service, a promise to back the big dogs in turf wars or business deals. But this isn't a free-for-all. Wearing a 13 patch without the dominant club's blessing is a serious violation. I've seen guys get their patches pulled, or worse, for stepping out of line. In the MC world, hierarchy is ironclad. Support clubs earn their place, and the number 13 is a reminder of that chain of loyalty. The rules vary by region. In some areas, a 13 patch might signal a specific role, like enforcer or road captain for the mother club. In others, it's a tribute to the club's founding charter. But one thing's universal. You don't wear 13 unless you've earned it through blood and time. Chapter 7. The Mother, Chapter, and the 13. Elite. In some MCs, 13 has a more exclusive meaning. The Mother, Chapter. This is the founding charter of the club, the original crew that set the rules, took the first rides, and built the legacy. Being patched into the Mother Chapter is a rare honor, even for members in far-off chapters. The 13th patch, often diamond-shaped or stylized, marks you as part of the club's beating heart. Take the Hells Angels Oakland chapter, for example. It's one of the oldest, most revered charters in the club's history. A 13th patch from Oakland isn't just a symbol, it's a crown. I knew a guy who wore that patch. He didn't talk much, but when he did, everyone listened. That's the kind of weight 13 carries in the elite circles. This meaning of 13 is less about street cred and more about legacy. It's the difference between a soldier and a general, but even this honor comes with rules. Flash that patch without living up to the Mother Chapter's standards, and you're out, permanently. Chapter 8. Racing Roots of the 13. Long before 13 meant Mongols or La M, it had another life: motorcycle racing. Post-World War II, Southern California was a hotbed for two kinds of riders: those sanctioned by the American Motorcycle Association, AMA, and the outlaws who flipped the bird at the rules. The AMA ran official races, but the real action was on the outlaw tracks, where rebels raced for pride, not trophies. Among these outlaws, the 13 fastest, most fearless riders earned a reputation. They weren't backed by sponsors or recognized by officials, but they dominated the pavement with raw skill and grit. The number 13 became a mark of excellence, a nod to those who rode harder than the rest. No politics, no bureaucracy, just speed and heart. This racing legacy laid the groundwork for the outlaw MC culture we know today. Clubs like the Booze Fighters and early Hells Angels grew out of that rebel spirit, and the number 13 carried over as a badge of honor, a reminder of a time when bikers lived for the thrill of the ride. Chapter 9. The 13 Rebels. A legacy before 1%. Let's go back further, to 1937, when the 13 Rebels Motorcycle Club was born. This wasn't just any club. It was one of the first outlaw MCs in America, predating the 1% culture that exploded after the 1947 Hollister riot. The 13 Rebels got their name from their 13 founding members, men who rejected the AMA's rules and lived by their own code: ride free or don't ride at all. One of those rebels, Wino Willie Faulkner, became a legend. After the 13 Rebels, he founded the Booze Fighters MC, a club that's still kicking today. The 13 Rebels didn't wear the 13 patch like modern clubs, but their names set a precedent. They were the original outlaws, the prequel to the 1% life, and their legacy lives on in every club that flies the number 13. The 13 Rebels were about freedom, not crime. But as MC culture evolved, the number 13 took on darker, more complex meanings, especially in the streets and prisons. Chapter 10. 13 and a half. The courtroom symbolism. Here's a rare one: the 13 and a half patch created by Red Rum MC, a Native American outlaw club. This patch isn't about racing or brotherhood. It's a middle finger to the justice system. The meaning? 12 jurors, 1 judge, and half a chance. It's prison slang turned into a symbol, a bitter nod to a system that outlaws believe is stacked against them. I've seen guys wear this patch with a smirk, knowing the odds are against them in court. Red Rum MC, founded by Native Americans who felt pushed out by mainstream MCs, made 13 and a half their own. It's not just a number. It's a statement about surviving a world that judges you before you speak. This patch is rare, but it's powerful. It speaks to the outlaw's distrust of authority, a theme that runs through MC culture like a vein. And it's a reminder. The number 13 isn't always about pride. Sometimes it's about defiance. Chapter 11. Street meaning and mainstream misuse. In the mainstream world, the number 13 has been diluted. Weekend bikers and fashion brands slap it on jackets, thinking it means rebel or badass. Some tie it to Mary Jane, weed, meth, or just motorcycles. But in the outlaw world, 13 isn't a vibe, it's a legacy. Wearing 13 without earning it is like waving a red flag in a bullpen. I've seen posers get checked for sporting a 13 tattoo without knowing its weight. In MC culture, it might mean you're a Mongol or a support club member. In prison, it screams la aim. In racing history, it's about speed and skill. Each meaning comes with a price, loyalty, blood, or both. The mainstream doesn't get it. They see 13 as a cool logo, not a story of pain, pride, and survival. But for those who live the life, 13 is a mark of who you are and what you've endured. The number 13 is more than a digit. It's a Mongol's pride, a Sureño's allegiance, a racer's legacy, a rebel's defiance. It's the mother chapter's heart, the prison yard's power, and a warning to those who don't belong. Whether it's stitched on a cuda, inked on skin, or carved into a wall, 13 tells a story of loyalty, struggle, and survival. Thanks for riding with us on Complete Crime, the realest source for MC culture and true crime. Smash that like button if you learned something new. Drop a comment. Have you seen a 13 patch in the wild? Got a story about the biker life? Let's hear it. Head to demonsrow.com for exclusive gear, shades, masks, tanks, snapbacks, all official. Support the crew and rep the life. Until next time, we ghostin', baby. Stay real, ride free.